What up, y'all? Welcome to it's probably one of my more important videos and one of the longer ones too, so buckle up. You see I have my whiteboard here. I'm also in my garage and it's super hot, so I'm sweating, but it's fine. And what I want to talk about today is what makes a rep. What makes a good rep? This is something that's really important to talk about, and a lot of what I'm going to talk about here I learned from a guy named Joe Bennett. He's really smart, way smarter than me. So I'm going to put what he puts very scientifically, almost more abstractly, hopefully into some terms that you'll understand. And so what makes a rep, right? When I say do 6 to 12 reps, what do I mean by a repetition? Because my goal for you is for you to work out efficiently, to do as little time as possible to get the most results. And a lot of this is going to be contingent on whether or not you know what a good rep is. And so we're going to be talking about what makes a good rep. And so you can see like this is one full rep or like this is one full rep. Just for some visuals, we're going to be talking about a few things: range of motion, tempo or control, momentum, and then the strength profile of an exercise. And these are pseudo in like order of importance really. And so what I'm going to be talking about first is range of motion. And so we're going to use bicep curls for a lot of these just because you can see me here and you can see the full range of motion bicep curls. So one of the things that we need to consider is that before we get into all this is right now studies are pointing us to the fact that muscle growth really happens within 5 reps in proximity to failure, right? Or not being able to do another rep. So if you do a set of 8, you fail on your 8th rep, that means reps, 4 through 8 or 3 through 8 we're efficient to stimulate muscle growth. But if you don't have these 4 things right, it'll take you a lot longer to get there. You have to do a lot more sets to get the same results. And that's why you have some pre-made programs that have like a bazillion sets programmed into them, tons of exercises. You're in the gym for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And if you've been with us for a while, you know we try to keep all our exercises to about 45 to about an hour. Coach Chase program go a little bit longer, just depends on where you're at in your journey. And so the first thing to keep in mind with what makes a full rep, right, the total circle or the full line, is range of motion, right? There is a difference when I'm doing a bicep curl between this and this, or this, or even this, right? So you see a lot of people in the gym, I see a lot of people in the gym, they do their bicep curls like this. The problem is, what joint am I trying to manipulate with the bicep curl? I'm trying to manipulate my elbow joint. And so if you're the type of person to do bicep curls like this, you're getting it from A to B, that's true, but how much are you actually manipulating your elbow joint? Not a whole lot, right? You're moving it really only this much. This is more of a shoulder workout than a bicep workout. You're getting a static bicep pump, so that's why you feel it in your biceps. But if a bicep curl this is a full range of motion, this is not a full range of motion. Hopefully you can see that, right? So if a full circle is all the way down, all the way up, and if this is what a lot of people are doing with a bicep curl, then maybe they're getting like that, right? They're getting that range of motion or, that instead of the full effect of a full range of motion. So range of motion is really important with every exercise. Bicep curl is the easiest one to see here, but the same thing with the tricep extension or a squat. When you're watching the demo videos, pay attention to the range of motion that I'm trying to do or Coach Vive is trying to do. In the exercise demo videos, we always try to get a full range of motion. Now, sometimes there's limiting factors. Like for me, I messed up my right rotator cuff when I was in high school playing tennis. And so I do have some limiting factors. So when I'm doing chest press in particular, I can't quite get all the way down here all the time, depending on the movement. Sometimes I have to stop here because I have a messed up shoulder. But if you don't, you have no excuse. Do a full range of motion. So the next one is tempo or control. And so one of the things you'll see some people in the gym, power lifters a lot, right? Where they will drop the weight and explode it back up. They'll drop the weight and explode it back up. Or the bench press, the power lifter will go, right? And if your goal is powerlifting, you want to do that because you're trying to just move the thing from A to B. But if you're on this app, odds are you're not a power lifter because I don't train power lifters, and you're looking for muscle development and muscle growth, general health. And so tempo and control. So what should tempo control look like? So once again, we're using a bicep curl, for example. If I'm doing a bicep curl, I want my tempo to be very slow and controlled on the way down, or the eccentric motion. So this is down for a bicep curl or down for a squat. Or if you're doing tricep extension, it's on the upward motion. It's while the muscle belly is being stretched, right? That's the eccentric motion. So you want nice and slow and controlled on the way down, and then you want to explode up, contracting as hard as you can. So that explode up is always there. You don't want to just purposely slow down when you're contracting. You just want to control the negative. So if I'm doing a bicep curl, I'm starting at the bottom, I'm exploding up, and then I'm controlling the way down, right? Exploding up, controlling the way down. So let's say, once again, going back to our little picture here, if I have a full range of motion, right? But then I let gravity just do my job on the way down, just carrying the dumbbells all the way down. Then instead of a full rep, maybe you're getting a half rep. Because once again, you're not doing anything on the way down. Your muscles are literally not working all. You're just letting gravity do your job. So once again, it's a less effective rep because you're letting gravity do the work on the way down. Your muscles aren't controlling the negative or the eccentric. And so once again, you got maybe a half a rep on that one. Okay, next one. Whoa, almost dropped this, caught it though. Next one's gonna be momentum. So one of the things I see a lot in the gym too is kipping or using momentum at the end range of motions to accomplish a movement. And so once again, if you're a CrossFitter or a power lifter, you want this because once again, the goal of a CrossFitter or power lifter is to get the thing from A to B. But our goal is to grow muscle efficiently for general health. Not necessarily to be the biggest and strongest in the room, but if that happens for you, cool. But I want you to work out efficiently. I want you to be able to do the least amount of work to get the most results possible, and the line I stole from Joe Bennett. And so that means we need to control momentum. So if you're doing a bicep curl, and I know you've seen people do this in the gym, where they're doing this, right? Boom, yeah, awesome. I'm moving this weight from A to B. Well, a couple problems with that. One, when I'm using my legs and my hips, I'm actually using other muscles to accomplish the movement. I'm creating force, generating force from my legs to help me bring this weight up. Once again, CrossFitter, power lifter, there's a point for that. But for us, I only want my biceps working. If I'm trying to do a bicep curl, I'm trying to isolate my biceps, I only want my biceps to work. So I'm here and I'm controlling the weight. And when I say momentum, I really mean the end ranges of motion, right? So if I'm at the bottom, I'm exploding up, killing my momentum, right? And then controlling the way down, killing my momentum without relaxing, flexing up, killing the momentum, controlling the way down, killing the momentum again without relaxing, boom. So if you have perfect range of motion, if you have pretty good tempo control on the way down, but if your momentum is not right, so if you're here, and then kind of doing this, and then kind of doing this, and losing it, then once again, you're getting less than an effective rep. Once again, you can see this is adding up, right? This is all adding up. We're getting closer to a full effective rep, but not quite there because the range of motion needs to be there, full range of motion each time. We need to have good solid tempo and control, especially in the eccentric, the way down, and then the momentum. So at the end ranges of motion, killing your momentum at the top and the bottom without relaxing. And so that way momentum is not accomplishing the movement for you, it's your muscle accomplishing the movement for you. Last one, profile. So this is kind of nerdy, and I'll probably need to make another video talking about this in more detail, but different exercises have different strength profiles. Some are better than others or more efficient than others, and every exercise has its place. What I try to do, especially for the gym programs or the Coach Chase programs, I try to pick exercises with really good profiles. And this is true most of the time. At home program, it's harder because we're only working with dumbbells. And so what do I mean by this? Well, let's make a bit of a graph. And so let's do this as muscle strength and muscle length. And so basically what happens is our muscles are pretty weak in the fully lengthened position. This is a shortened position here. And this is confusing. Sorry, I have awful handwriting. And so we're pretty weak in the lengthened position, but in the mid position, we're actually really strong, right? And then all the way in the shortened position, we are literally as weak as possible because we can't move anything anymore. So if this is the lengthened position of a bicep curl, this is the mid position, this is the shortened position, we're strongest here. We're kind of weaker here, right? But we're literally weakest here because I literally can't move it anymore. So why is this important to know? So the point of exercise selection from a fitness trainer perspective is I want to do my best to match the exercise to what your muscles can do. And so it's probably more like a arced line than a point there. But anyway, and so let's take a negative example, right? So a dumbbell lateral raise. A dumbbell lateral raise is really easy here, kind of hard here, and then really hard up here, right? So all of a sudden, if we're doing, let's do a different color for a dumbbell lateral raise. So a dumbbell lateral raise in the lengthened position is extremely easy. And then it gets harder, and then it gets harder. So you can see here that a dumbbell lateral raise does not match what the muscle belly can do literally at all, right? It goes from easy, kind of hard, to wow, that's really, really hard. Anybody who's ever done a dumbbell lateral raise knows this to be true kind of just instinctually. And so why is this important to the full rep is because I want to have a profile of an exercise that matches what my muscles can do, because if it doesn't, that means there's some part of the range of motion that's not getting worked efficiently. So in the dumbbell lateral raise, the lengthened and mid-range are really not getting worked. So I'm missing out this whole piece of the exercise. Whereas if I pick a heavy enough weight to target this, then I'm not getting here, right? Then that part of the exercise is missing. So if I pick a light enough weight to get here, okay, awesome, but then this whole part of the exercise is like I'm not doing anything, right? So I should have another color, but I don't. And so if the profile is really bad, we can just erase this blue line up here. If the profile is really bad, I might only be getting that much of an effective rep instead of a full effective rep. But if the profile is good, so let's take a cable lateral raise, for example. So a cable, the pulley's here, so the line of force isn't gravity with a dumbbell, it's a pulley. It can actually match pretty well what the muscle can do, or a machine lateral raise, right? Machines are great for this. And so anyway, this is a bunch of nerdy stuff, but I hope it helps. So what is a full repetition? Well, it's something with a full range of motion. You have good solid tempo control. So nothing is out of control, nothing's out of whack. You have a nice slow eccentric movement, about 2 to 3 seconds. Momentum, so at the end of each rep, you're killing your momentum without relaxing every time. And then the profile of the exercise is solid. Once again, this is not the end of the world. If it's not, there's a time and a place for that. But we want to try to consider that when we're programming, which is what we do here at the HyperOfit app. So anyway, hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. God bless you all.